Good afternoon, boys and girls from Thomas Torero here in hot, sticky, sauna-like Singapore. This is the last afternoon here. We are finishing up the documentary filming. I've just come back from Hong Kong on a little side hustle which you can hear about in this week's podcast. And as you might be able to tell, I'm a little bit coldy, got a sore throat, blocked nose. The wheels of the tour bus are slightly falling off. Craig's been ill as well, but he's been ploughing on with the bangs here. And yes, tonight we are flying back to Europe, back west on an epic flight to Munich in Germany, where we've got documentary filming, boot camp, and then that's the end of the world tour this weekend. But as I promised you, a Q&A from Singapore and then a final Q&A from Germany. If you want the top 100 day game questions answered, all the common stuff that guys email me about, they leave comments about, they come to live events and they ask about, that's what section 3 of Street Hustle is all about. That's the plug for today. To save my voice as well, to save my sanity, the back of Street Hustle has the top 100 day game questions answered that guys want to know about all the time. Today I've picked ones that perhaps need slightly more detail, things that I've skimmed over in the past. Let us dive in. First question from Wen. He says, Tommy boy, nice video series. Thank you very much. Don't take this the wrong way, but I take my hat off to you more than other PUAs because of your poor looks. How dare you? They say game is getting a girl 2 points hotter. I'd rate you as a male 4. That's very generous, Wen. My mum would be proud. So the fact that you pull 7s, 8s and some 9s makes your game real good. I know it's not just about looks, and you, my friend, are living proof game works. To be fair, I'm only a male 5, and so far I'm only getting 6s from day game. Enjoy the rest of the world tour, Tom. Well, Wen, I think that's a neg, that's a bit of push-pull. I like it, and I think it's a fair comment. This week's podcast is about, or partly about, looks and SMV and sexual economics and getting girls that are younger and hotter, and what I am, what perhaps girls might rate me, the importance of looks, but also the importance of everything else. Thank God I'm a man, yeah? And I can use other power elements like charisma and confidence and wit and charm. Even with my male model looks, that's right, I have to use game. So this week's podcast is on game denialists, guys that just believe that looks matter or that money matters or the game is just a numbers game of finding a yes girl, and I talk about myself as proof for that. But I appreciate the comment. Well done if you're getting 6s, push for 7s, then push for 8s and keep pushing it. But a nice value difference of 2 points between you and the girl, she's 2 points hotter. That, my friends, is good game, is solid game. Next question from Prozurolov. Sounds Russian. Hi Tom. I've got another question for you. How to make girls sexually liberated? I've noticed that conversations with European girls go usually easier than conversations with Russian girls. They are more open and it's no problem with starting a conversation. Sorry for my English and thanks for your answer. How do you make girls sexually liberated? They are. Girls are secretly sexually liberated. They read chick lit fantasy, they watch these kind of things, they watch porn, they fantasize, even if they're in conservative religious countries, even if they're shy virgins. I will say it again and again and again. You just know the phenomenal success of 50 Shades of Grey, you know the success of female literature in general, with these archetypes, with these bad boys. So even if she's not doing it, she's thinking about doing it. Good girls are just bad girls who haven't been caught. So just go on the date, go into the interaction, assuming she's sexually liberated. But you're asking a deeper question, how to make girls talk. Well, you, my friend, have to learn the art, first of all, of storytelling. This is why I like Old School Game. Old School Game said, learn 3 set stories. A DHV story, a vulnerability story, a sexual spike story. Each of these stories you write down, you perfect like a stand-up comedian. Don't make it comedy though. You practice it again and again and again. These are full of attraction switches. You practice them in the mirror, you practice them on a dictaphone, you practice them and you refine them on dates like a good comedian on tour. And you'll get material. You should have enough material to last you half an hour. If you don't, here's the plug, Street Hustle. It's full of not just lines and old school routines, but set stories, story patterns. How else do you get a girl to talk? You qualify her, you flip the script. And yet with Russian girls, it's more stony faced, not as many teases or sarcasm and irony, but challenging, qualifying. Learn some verbal escalation, the Old School questions game. Then bounce venues, learn physical escalation. Embrace the silence, but that's all important. Have a plan. Don't go in Don't go on a date, don't go in there hoping for the best. Too many of my beginner students do that. Next question, B2 Wearing. I reckon being married needs tighter game than just picking up random girls like a Casanova. Oh dear. Let us spare a moment, let us have a moment's silence for our fallen brothers in the friend zone, or the boyfriend zone, or even worse, the married zone. Let us stop and think about loss of frame. Thanks be to God. Yeah, it's a loss of frame. So I agree with you that married guys need some kind of game, just to hold the frame and use all those techniques which are game, vacuuming and dread and making her jealous and being sexually relevant, keeping your sexual market value. But I think that's a snide comment towards pickup, and that's what this week's podcast, Game Denialism, is all about. Shaming guys that are single that like casual sex. The aim of pickup is certainly not to get the one, to get the dream girl. That is the purity fantasy, the myth of the one, the myth of the soulmate. That's not what I'm in it for at all. Pickup game, it's amoral, okay? So you can live your life if you're happily married, that's fine. And I'll live mine hot and sweaty and sticky by a Singapore swimming pool. There we go. Have we got any more questions? Yes, one more from Forever Free. Hi Tom, thanks for the content you are sharing. I was on a date with a super hot Russian girl that I number closed on the street. She gave me many IOIs and we make out, but she refused to come to my house. That's very normal. In Russia, first date, you kind of stop at the kiss. Often you get rejected at the kiss. Second date is a bridge date, walking around a park. Third date, maybe cooking, film at yours with some escalation. Maybe even a fourth date to seal the deal. Russians, Ukrainians, yes. The problem is, even though she looked relaxed, she basically didn't come up with any topic by herself, and her answers were very brief. Perhaps she was shy, or her Czech language, I'm guessing you're Czech, was not good enough, but I'm not able to keep such a conversation on another date as I'm also introverted. How do you make such women speak? How do you make women speak? You beat them with a stick. That's a joke. That is a joke, that's sarcasm. You, like I said in the first question, learn structure. This is why old school pickup artists, old buggers like myself, we win. Because we came from that pickup time when you had to learn stories. You had to learn standby routines. You had to learn sexual spikes. You learned the questions game. You learned strawberry fields. You even learned the fucking cube. You learned qualification questions. And that's why the Torero dating model, which I shall link to below, it has those set stages. So learn the 5 verbal escalation questions. Learn when the bounces and when to go into physical escalation. Learn, as I said, about qualifying. But practice your storytelling. Russians, as I've said, yes, they're hard work, they're stony-faced. If anybody out there thinks that I go to Russia because day game is easier or casual lover type sex is easier, you are out of your tree, my friends. You should read my new book, Cold Calling, another plug, which I talk about the ups and downs, the roller coaster ride, which is day gaming in the former Soviet Union. Much easier in the Western world, in Western Europe, in North America, in Australia, even here. Much, much easier than those ice queens of Russian. But yes, the Russian girls are hot, that's why I go there. Okay, to save my voice, to save my sanity, I need to swim. We need to charge this battery, we need to go and film, and then we need to go to the airport. Thank you for watching these Hustle On videos. Check out this week's podcast, as I said, which is on game denialists, people who deny pickup and game works, or even exists. And I shall do my last Q&A from Munich in Bavaria. Maybe I shall be wearing lederhosen. Leave some questions below, not your normal questions, questions that stand out, that surprise me, that are a nice way to wrap up this video series. You can leave them on my website, you can leave them below, and I shall see you in Germany.